Well, we'll see here. There's your lineup. I know a lot of people have been, you know, very curious as far as where the Chinese shuffle would end up, and we get to see a debut of a roster after this. The new VG Gaming lineup is going to be playing next against Hyper Glory Team, and some people have yet to see the debut of LGD here. I'm going to have to probably do what you just did and go for a reconnect. I'm getting a little bit of a jitter. Not exactly slideshow, but that little bit of a hiccup in the, you know, like you get.
It's like a yo-yo.
Yeah, just like
bouncing around a little bit.
Like something's wrong with the car. It's doing a bit of a putt-putt here, and I don't think that's healthy. But I'll just try to fly through these introductions real quick. You can see it's going to be Yao, going to be playing your bristleback Zhao 8. So away from newbie, was acquired for what, $128,000, some huge sum of money.
$22,000.
Yeah. He's now your support, and also known as the director here for LGD. These two teams are flirting right now with each other, giving him the stank eye. EHOME is going to be the ones that are going to have to scurry
their
away.
Level 1's pretty weak for EHOME.
You think so, even with Ancient Apparition? I think
he is really good, but Ember's pretty bad at level 1. Void's pretty bad at level 1. If the Venge and AA are really strong support duo at those early levels, but the rest of the gang not so much, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just going to go for the reconnect before something does actually break out and we end up missing it here. So, but we don't want to be putting up with the little jitters through.
I forgive you.
It's fine. It's fine. If anyone was curious, nope, I'm not going to show you anything because we're back in the game and everything is looking as smooth as butter here. So continuing on with those introductions, LGD side, Sylar, the Farming Master. He's going to be playing your Sniper. We got, I already said Zhao 8 on your Shadow Shaman. It's going to be maybe playing your Axe, and that will leave none other than Momoyan, MMY, also known as X, playing your Skywrath Mage.
All the names.
All the names.
All right. Well, did we introduce the Dire side yet?
No, please.
No, I don't think we got through them. We got Inflame on the solo mid Swagger Fiend. Going to the off lane will be our God, ROTK on the Void. Lanham, the Vengeful Spirit support, up towards the tri lane. We are going to have DDC playing your Ancient Apparition, and I believe that is ZYF on the Ember.
He played...
he was Yang for a while. He was ZYF, then he was Yang, and now he's Chinese characters, just to confuse me as much as possible.
Yeah. Well, I was lucky to hear it was ZYF, otherwise you don't want to hear what I would have been calling him, so I'm glad he...
Hopefully nothing too inappropriate.
No. Me inappropriate? Never, but... He did playing Ember. He played Ember yesterday, put on a really strong showing. They did fall short to IG because, you know, IG just looked pretty damn strong, but he definitely pulled his weight there. And Inflame also, I believe he played Shadow Fiend both of those games. So he's definitely warmed up to his Shadow Fiend, and I believe he's the one who got the Shadow Blade in game number 2. In game number 1, he went more traditional by getting it back.
Yeah, I saw a bit of that game. I wasn't really convinced by the Shadow Blade. I still think the Blink Yules is a lot stronger. You slight mana issues with the Shadow Blade if you're not getting runes, and the other thing is just that it doesn't offer you as much utility. Like, if they have sentries, dust, or wards, if they're prepared for you, they can still kill you. It's not an escape mechanism, whereas the Yule's Blink, it's guaranteed kill combo for the Requiem. The Shadow Blade just feels very gimmicky against top-level players, but... That said, perhaps he's seen something in pubs that works well for him, and it does give you a little bit more DPS as far as just like your pure right-click goes, but you know, you die once, you could have just farmed towards that. As Shadow Fiend, you farm so fast, you could have just farmed towards your next item after the Yule's Blink to make up for it.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. Wouldn't be Dota without a pause, so we got to make sure we get a couple of those out of the way. Luckily, no big, long, girthy pauses here in the China group so far, but... a couple of them just to make sure that we all take that moment.
Man. You better be careful.
We'll see. I've jinxed it, unjinxed it. It doesn't seem to work either way. There's just going to be pauses. So you have to accept that. For bottom lane, ROTK, he's having a little bit of trouble here. You know, he's the melee going against Axe. That's pretty much a nightmare in itself. And then occasionally you have Zhao Wei bopping in and out, keeping him guessing as far as where he's going to be coming from. And right now he's got that 2-mid invis. I don't know if they're going to have enough to take down ROTK. He has plenty of mana to leap on out of there.
They need some good spins here. This is just going to come down to
Come on, RNG. Work with me. Oh, good harassment. It forces him back.
Yeah, he went for the Battle Hunger build. If he has call there, that's the first blood. Of course, you don't know. Oh, mid lane, meanwhile.
We're going in. Concussive shot. Arcane Bolt. Lots of damage in the shrapnel. Inflame. Going to go down here. Arcane Bolt. Second shrapnel just to secure it. And it's going to be MMY who gets your first blood. LGD can strike first.
Yeah, again, no real great defensive supports for EHOME. Then, frankly, their tri-lane's not really getting a lot done here. The Bristleback's already got 6 CS. He's been getting his levels. Yao still has plenty of regen, 3 tangos and a salve, so his laning stage going quite well in general on the Bristle. They almost get a kill bottom as well. If they had Call skilled up for maybe, they would have. And they get the first blood mid. LGD doing fantastic across the board, farming well on the Axe. He's going to have a very fast blink at this rate. And that blink is like an auto kill, basically. You look at some of the, you mentioned it, Dakota, early in the draft, or towards the end of the draft, was they're very squishy on EHOME. They have heroes that need a lot of items before they can tank up, and a fast blink on Axe could really throw EHOME onto the back foot.
ROTK, he's got to be careful here. He's got no more regen. He's flirting with the idea of, you know, hanging out by the side shop. Luckily, Xiaowei hasn't been able to scout him out, but the second he shows himself, now MMY's here. Only 1 point into silence, but that might be enough to take him down. They're going to lead in with the Battle Hunger. He goes with the preemptive leap. They already slow him down with a concussive shot. Will it be close enough for the shackle? Got him! Locks him in place, and now they're just going to right-click him down. They time out a call just for security purposes there at the end, but LGD pick up another. Good gank on the bottom lane with assist from MMY.
Well, RTK is doing decently here. He's died twice already, but he's died the one time and almost been killed a second. But he is level 4, so he's getting his levels in the off lane. I think all things considered, this is not too bad for the Void. That was also a 3-hero gank. That said, his main goal is just to hit 6. So dies once here, almost dies the other time. If X had call, he would have. But still, all things considered, I think RTK is doing pretty decently off lane. Where they really need to worry is just with the Shadow Fiend. Inflame has 12 CS and a death already. They are stacking for him, but it's only the double stack right now at the big camp mid. So missing uphill raises as well onto creeps. Not the best start here for Inflame.
Lanham's hanging out with him around the mid. Even plops down the sentry here, just to be safe, feeling like maybe they have some uphill vision, but they don't. So that's 2 committed sentries in the mid lane that don't deward anything, at least nothing that I saw. So unfortunate stuff. Now Lanham moves up, and I believe that will block out the Ancient stack.
Man, these wards are unfortunate. Yeah, it's already a decent stack here. A triple stack on the Ancients. And the double sentry mid, that's 300 gold down the drain that gets nothing done.
Those needed to come a bit sooner in the game. Now Bristle still already has something to fall back on and farm up, but they want to take down the Bristle now. Yao spotted. Ice Vortex slows him, but he's already just in a safe spot, so they can't commit to it. Good positioning, good game sense to know that something was not right there from Yao, and he pulls back.
Well, he's getting a little bit less up bottom lane.
They're diving
RTK, bold TP there. Almost gets called by maybe under his tower, but Xiaowei did not have mana, so. Meanwhile, mid, onto Inflame once again. This poor Shadow Fiend. They just keep on bullying him off of the map.
It's like the worst. This is like the worst for a Shadow Fiend. I mean, don't get me wrong.
He's on the feed train, man.
I don't like Shadow Fiend, so I'm always happy to see him get his ass beat. But the thing is, it's like, usually it's like, okay, the sniper matchup's bad, but now you have also a Skywrath Mage who's going to kind of put you in check even from the start of the game and just kind of force you to play scared. That's awful. That's awful for Shadow Fiend, and you could just see it's a struggle right now, and he goes down again. It's going to be a game of catch-up, and maybe a bit more pressure here on the comeback, the
Speaking
turnaround.
Of maybe, he's almost got Blink at 6 minutes. I think he's even going to skip the Tranquil Boots here. And with this Invisor, they may just go find a kill once again. Dire team did not see this ward get picked up. Your safe play is just to finish the Blink. That might just be what maybe goes.
Dire team have no wards at all on the map. Well, look at Radiant team's
no,
wards.
They've got 3 sentries mid. They got it covered.
Like Radiant's vision is just the river. They just have 4 wards along the river. They also want to make sure they got the water covered right there. I could see anyone going up or down it. It's just really interesting choice from both sides.
They could actually get their first D ward of the game if they had seen this Observer getting planted down near the top rune, but
nope.
Of course, nobody saw it because they don't have any wards. Now they plant their obs, but it's too late.
Yeah. Well,
meanwhile, bottom lane, the pressure's going to come here from the Axe. He didn't go Blink, actually. Went Vanguard. They get RTK now. They'll call him. This is trouble. Where's those spins? No spins. Decent backtrack. And now mid. Looks like there'll be a smoke gank here as well. EHOME are the team that desperately need this to work. This kill on Sylar is really big, and it looks like they should be able to get it. Don't miss your raises. All right, just needs to watch.
Lanham gets that kill, and maybe a bit careless right there from Sylar. I mean, there's plenty missing from the map.
Now top lane, Yao duking it out with ZYF, who wants to burn him down. The salve, just enough to keep him alive. Now the Ember gonna stick up. Yeah, action all over the map.
Yeah, it just doesn't stop. That was seriously from bottom to top with action. We covered bottom, then went through mid, and then finished out with
the lane tour here. Yeah. You know, it's like if you go to Europe and you do like the 12 countries in 8 days or whatever. You know, you get on a bus, you see the 3 biggest highlights, then you're zooming off to the next country on the Eurorail as quickly as possible. That's what this feels like. We're getting the Eurorail experience of the Dota 2 map.
The Tour de Fail.
The Tour. Yeah.
8 minutes in. Thank you. Illusion grabbed from Lanham, but yeah, was it worth it, Lanham? He gets shot there at the end. A bullet out of nowhere comes from Sylar as he gets redemption from his previous takedown. Now moving ahead, LGD bringing 4 kills all day to EHOME's 1. But nice little advantage start. LGD just not looking to let EHOME walk away with too much here. They're just going to make sure they kind of keep him in check, and well, their comeback play might have to be ROTK here. He is level 6. He does have his chrono. Nothing really else behind it. You know, it's not like he's going to be dishing a lot of the damage, but with an appropriate setup, and you have your allies nearby, you can get anyone you want here. But just have to make sure. I want to see with MMY here. He's going to be involved with the stack, so he's going to get level 6 pretty fast. So even when that first chrono is to come out, he better make sure that MMY is inside of it. Otherwise, he's just going to get welcomed from a huge Mystic Flare.
Yeah, that's very true. Can be it's kind of like Legion Commander, you know, you go in for your duel and, oh wait, they have the Skywrath Mage. Bam, you're dead. At the same time, Axe is just clearing out a massive stack of Ancients here with the support of Yao. Yao gets his Vitality booster. And that's kind of the storyline of this game in particular, is you have 2 really beefy frontliners for LGD. The Bristleback, the Axe, both building tanky, maybe now going to go for the Blink, I imagine, but already has the Vanguard. Yao, as mentioned, is the Vit booster. These are not easy heroes to burst down in Chronosphere. They don't have Ice Blast yet. It is coming at a reasonably fast pace for DDC, all things considered, but even an Ice Blast Chrono, I don't think you're killing these heroes. You probably need a +1, or you need like 3-4 bashes in a row, as there will be a chrono. Catches out too.
They got MMY in it, so there's nothing they can do. Double raise flies out. Sylar will go down. Very nice catch right there from ROTK as he makes his first chrono debut, a successful one, taking down Sylar.
They have to get kills with the chrono. That's their only way really to set up kills around the map. They have the Ember, but he's like, who are you? Maybe he catches the supports, but if the supports are sitting back, then he's not killing these cores, really. So, very nice pick off there. And RTK, he's going to have to be the player for EHOME. Inflame struggling mid, the support's a bit under level here. It's all about him right now.
Inflame is about to have his mechanism, so that's good. That could be a minor game changer when you think that LGD are going to be on the finishing blow. A quick turnaround with that extra bit of sustain could help EHOME in a more long-winded fight, but long-winded fights are also something that LGD do like to have. I mean, Bristleback is probably the king of just long battles, so, well, he'll make do with it. And like you said, he has his Vite booster, so he's well underway towards his Vanguard / Crimson Guard kind of a lineup. They have solo farm also on the other side happening for DDC, so he can get that Ice Blast. He does have it now, but look who's coming in from behind. Nice smoke gate here. EHOME could end up putting this game back on its track, and the Ice Blast will fly. Sylar, oh man, goes down again, just unwelcome from behind, and now Yao could be in trouble. They trade 1 for 1. He unleashed the Requiem, but Yao is gone. Oh, bummer.
Now Chao 8's coming in, and he's in the front lines, but Ember Spirits arrived, gonna chain 1, make it 2.
What was that?
LGD on the feed train. Oh man, really nice for it. They almost got 4. The Bristleback almost died as well. If they get the swap off there, that is a 4-for-0 exchange. That, in particular, I'm not sure what the plan was with the Shadow Shaman. Like, I obviously didn't know the Ember Spirits in the neighborhood, but that's just a very long time for EHOME to react and send more heroes in. That was pretty risky by Chao 8. The other kill there on the sniper. That's
nice assassinate, bro. Backtrack. Stupid hero. I want to ask though, do you think that could have gone different? I understand maybe he's wants to be able to secure the Vanguard first. Now he does get his Blink Dagger, which is amazing, but what if he had the Blink Dagger in that engagement? You're talking about 2 supports who just ran in there and died before they can even do anything. A lead-in jump-in call from maybe would have set up a good Mystic Flare. Wards could have been used at that point. Extra bits of CC and lockdown thereafter.
It could have made a difference. At the same time, like the cool thing about the Vanguard build is you can just go and farm Ancient stacks really early.
That's
so
true.
If he didn't go this build, he would just have a Blink and maybe like the Rain of Health or the Vitality booster, but this build is much more economically efficient, so it hurts them there. At the same time, now he's got Blink and Vanguard. There's no way he has this for like an extra 2-3 minutes otherwise, but he's going to try to set up here on ZYF, who gets a little nervous as Spidey senses are tingling.
Yeah. Everyone's gone except Sylar mid lane and your sniper.
I'm still surprised that Inflame goes mech build here. The thing is, like, if he gets caught by the Axe with a Mystic Flare, he's dying. He's dying even with the mech. Whereas with the Yules, you can maybe dodge that initiation, also throw somebody out in a Yule Scepter just to set up for your teammates to follow up, like give the Ice Blast a chance to come down. I feel like the Yules has a lot more utility here, but mid lane, Sylar gonna get caught by the Chrono. Once again, they take a while to bring him down, though. That's gonna prompt a counter initiation as the reinforcements arrive. Xiao doesn't have his wards. He already dropped them top. They get nothing done here, Dakota. In fact, they may lose more.
Oh, they do. Right click goes on the flimsy little Shadow Shaman, and he gets dropped. Lanham, though, could pay the price. Secondary call holds him there. Mystic Flare, but still not enough to take him down. Raises fly, and Axe goes down. Now Yao could be next, showing that bristle back, but is it going to be enough durability to keep him alive? Whoa, look at the quills. And quickly, ZOIF is like, whoa, I don't like that. I got to get the hell back, but high ground held. Silence there from MMY keeps him alive, but boom! Catches him with the raise. Ultra kill for Inflame. He was struggling at the start, but I think he found his way. Your score now, 6-9.
That's 2 fights in a row now where EHOME have just gotten absolutely insane numbers of kills. What is that? 7? I think it's 7 kills in the last 2 fights. This game was 6-2. Now it's 6-9. Oh god, he suddenly almost got a BKB.
You could see, though, where it still is a problem with him even just getting the mech. I don't think he could even use it there because of just the mana cost of it. It's just so high for someone like Shadow Fiend, and just to go on top of it, Axe jumps him, it's a problem. And even if Bristle gets on his ass and is chasing him down slowly, a mech is not going to stop him from chasing. A Yules would. A Yules could set up an opportunity to either Yules yourself, blink on out of there, or just freaking throw the Bristle back in the air and walk away. So I agree that there's definitely more substance to something like a Yules, and definitely in maybe a game like this, but well, we'll see if it makes it work out.
At this point, he's going to have mech BKB, and LGD are going to have a really tough... once he gets the BKB, like, how do they kill him? They have okay physical damage, but it's going to take a while, and the mech will help him to mitigate a lot of that, as both teams are hunting. Seems the Radiant squad... Oh, they find an illusion. They go on it, too.
Get that illusion.
They throw out the silence. Not sure if EHOME were paying attention there. Didn't actually attack it, though. But, well, smoke's worn off.
Yeah, unsuccessful.
Will
Smoke gank for LGD, not going to be working out. EHOME are on the other side of the world right now, rummaging through. They want to take out this access point here at the bottom. Eliminating this tier 1 tower would allow them to kind of feel more free about moving into the LGD jungle and planting maybe some aggressive wards and find opportunities to kind of catch out any stragglers from behind. But look at LGD, man. They're committing for a push on mid lane. They dropped the wards from Xiao Wade, and they're going to be doing some serious damage. But here comes the Ice Blast. Boom!
Hits on 3.
Hits on 3, and on Sylar, Wave is also going to fly through. ROTK has Chronosphere in the pocket waiting before he can drop it here. If LGD get caught in a bad position, this could be very devastating. But it looks like they just want to commit long enough to go for the tower. But now the catch on the Yao. And look, that's what I'm talking about. It will catch him, solidify. One only under the Chrono. It's going to be Xiao Wei. But Yao, the focus target right here, should go down. Remnant back and forth. And it's going to be Inflame getting the last hit. Sylar from the high ground, though, wants to get off the pot shots here on the ZYF. He's going to be forced to Remnant and walk away from this. 2 down now for LGD. EHOME lose no one. They don't even lose their tower. So they're going to hold strong, and there's going to be your mech pop as if, well, nothing even happened.
That was not even like an amazing Chrono either. He catches only the Shaman who already dropped his wards. Now, that said, it was kind of a zoning Chrono. Like, it was tough for LGD to move around it, so I wouldn't say it's bad, but they don't even need perfect Chronos, Dakota. They just need halfway decent ones. They had amazing follow-up damage for it. They got through the landing stage. The Axe going for this Vanguard blink early. He was so farmed, but you look at what they got done with it. It was barely anything. Oh, maybe they get something now.
Tried to do a Requiem for him to blink into, but it wasn't timed out right. And then Flame will go down. Beautifully set there for maybe, but the timing was so close. Wave is going to fly. Very weak and wounded couple of LGD members, and, well, the Ice Blast will wear off, so the heal will come through. Blink forward, Battle Hunger, but this is a long chase. You could run into trouble. Shackle onto Yao, puts him in his spot, and they'll have to pull away with that. But, hey, it's still a solid grab onto Inflame. And
they want to go, like, right here, like, let's 5-man down mid again. First time didn't work. We're ready to go. Shaman wards are almost up, but they're a little too low, unfortunately. Don't have a mech of their own, no urn, so we're going to have to wait it out. But as this game goes later, I do feel like EHOME should be pretty comfortable. They just need to keep on farming the Shadow Fiend, try to work towards the Ags on the Ancient Apparition, at least get like that point booster. He should be the support that gets the farm here, I think. And if they do, their late game's pretty damn solid. It's very contingent on the Chronos, but so far RTK's been mostly on point, so I don't think they have to press it too much. They have the Shadow Fiend mech BKB. They can force fights. They also have the option of kind of split push farming. It's the route they want to take. For now, it's their turn to barrel down mid. This tower is going to get denied by Silo. precious map control being wrested away. RTK, oh, bottom lane, Chrono. On to Xiao 8, maybe was waiting, but not gonna matter.
And boom! KS comes out from DDC. Beautifully done right there with the timing. Shoots the J, and it will connect. So Shadow Shaman goes down, Xiao 8. But now, jump in, Mystic Flare and Axe going to set up the kill onto ROTK, and they get redemption for their fallen Xiao 8 comrade, and LGD will be able to strike back. Now 8-12, and they'll take whatever kind of pocket change they can get. It's not a huge rubber band to work with right now, but it's something.
That was pretty cocky by ROTK. He saw the Axe. Like, when he jumped in, he chronos, he gets that kill on the Shaman. Like, the Axe is just standing there like, well, I can't do anything, so I'm just going to watch you die, because if I blink into Chrono, then I just get stunned, and I'm not going to be able to call you to interrupt. But then he just sits around and starts hitting the next creep wave. That was very bold by RTK. Had no backup nearby. Was maybe just playing the odds and thinking, Skyra's probably not in the neighborhood, but he was certainly wrong about that. And he paced. Could have been a 1-for-0 if RTK's. I mean, kind of classic RTK. You know, he always wants to push it to the limit in the offlane. For the most part, this game, I would say he's done his job. He's been a big player in most of their team fights, but it was a bit of a sloppy death there for him.
Just to echo from what you were saying before and how EHOME should definitely feel comfortable about their late game, I certainly agree. LGD do have Sniper, the Sylar Sniper to fall back on, and I've seen crazy Sniper games where they come back on the back of a couple of crazy Rapiers just to get the game done, and that I can't help but think what Yao is going to be doing for his Bristleback as more of maybe a secondary core. For now, he just has a cloak, and maybe he might go more utility and into a pipe or something, but you know, I wasn't sure if he was going to consider something like an S and Y just so he could do more damage.
Walks right into Inflame, one raise, not enough.
Oof, man, that right click takes him down to 75 life. So weak. He has barely any bonus armor right now, just the +2 he gets from a local aura, but right now he needs to think of some durability.
Uh-oh, this could be bad for LGD. Do they try and defend this tower wave of Terra? Gonna scout out? Maybe. Ruh-roh.
Call locks RTK in place, but it's an easy shot with the Ice Blast, and yeah, no chrono necessary on this Axe, and no rotations to come from LGD. Not really worth it, as a chrono will be there to kind of welcome them. But EHOME will just follow it up with an objective now and secure the Tier 1 tower. They continue to rake in some serious gold, but surprisingly enough, LGD have held the net worth lead, so where it seems like they're falling short on a lot of these engagements, they've found ways to find plenty of farm across the map, I have to say. That might be more from the Ancients and extra towers they brought down, which they could get another here in mid lane.
Oh, and Flame gonna get caught out a little bit. Xiao 8 drops the Hex on him, has the BKB mech though. I'm just gonna clean up these wards. They probably get the tower denied as well with Inflame. This is... They just want this tower so bad, but tower denied, Ancients farm, now the Blink online. Not really the best movements from LGD, and yeah, it is the Ancients. The Ancients and the towers are the main reason they're doing well in terms of gold, but that's going to change now. They'll take the Roshan, and with this Aegis EHOME, can take that Tier 1 top on it. You know, just in terms of the overall momentum of this game, LGD are the lineup that want to be playing from ahead, like kind of playing with the lead. They got an early one, but haven't really been able to push it much. We'll give Inflame the Aegis. Now he's got safety. Here we go.
Yeah, they scout with a wave, and look who dives way forward. Unfortunate luck, though, as he only is able to chain down the neutrals, but there's going to be the catch. A chrono committed for a measly little Shadow Shaman. They are just hungry for blood.
I love it. No hesitation by RTK. You see a free kill, why not? Just clean it up.
Poor Shaman didn't even have his wards or anything. It wasn't like he was going to be able to contribute a whole lot anyways, and, well, he pays the price. LGD, though, very objective-based here. Is now top lane they want to make a push happen on this Tier 2. Without the wards, though, it's not going to be easy. And it just continues to feel like EHOME are in more of a comfortable position as the game progresses. And Yao could be spotted here. Well, it looks like they will just be narrowly passing each other without even knowing. 8-14, though. Very strong mid-game showing here for EHOME, and what was a kind of a disaster of a start. Remember, Inflame was brought down, what, 2-3 times early on? And that's bad, but Lanham now could be in trouble. Ooh, Mystic Flare. An airball on that one, way behind this Ice Blast, though. Ooh, gets MMY. That urn, he's going to shatter. He's going to go down for sure. Yao could be in trouble, and they do stop him from getting away. So it's a double takedown, both from ZYF. EHOME continue to just advance their lead further and further. Now going past the 2K mark. Oh,
not done just yet. Gonna fight maybe, but no way to cancel that TP, unfortunately. Well, that's Tier 1 down, like you said, and 2 more kills. ZYF, guys, the Battle Fury pretty much done on the Ember Spirit. RTK has completed his Mask of Madness. Everybody's getting their levels. Now an Aghanim Scepter being built up by DDC. everybody's getting what they need on EHOME. And then you look across the board, you've got a Bristleback who hasn't picked anything big up since the Vanguard, just an Ogre Club and a Cloak, very defensive, kind of whatever you can afford items. Like you just throw, you know, whatever the food stamps can put together for you, throw it in the shopping cart. Maybe had that really fast blink Vanguard. Since then he's gotten an Ogre Club and soon a BKB, yeah, but there's a lot of physical damage on EHOME. It's not like a BKB just makes you invulnerable this game by any stretch, so I worry a lot here for LGD, and you can see that they feel like they have to get a lot done. They've been pressing, trying to force the issue mid, getting punished pretty heavily. LGD just in the right place at the right time, EHOME to defend the towers, to punish the aggression, and they just haven't itemized or really built to try and take this late. They'll probably be forced to. They have the sniper is good at high ground defense, but even you look at the sniper's item, it's just your standard, you know, Mask of Madness, phase boots, possible BKB coming out after this Yasha. No late game items, no real greed from anyone. They're not prepared for this game to go late, but it seems they aren't going to have much of a choice about it.
So with only what I imagine being a couple minutes left on this Aegis before it expires, not feeling a lot of assertiveness from EHOME quite yet, though they do have a shift coming towards the bottom. That seems to be where they want to kind of make a push happen. LGD have been trying to kind of keep mid lane and top lane pushed out to try to stall it a bit longer, but I think EHOME have kind of gotten the idea, now with especially this DD that's now popped on the Shadow Fiend, that they want to really push on forward. Maybe take out all tier 2s.
He's going to have that next big item soon. Maybe just go straight Butterfly here. And that's a problem. At that point, he becomes the siege engine. You give him the Aegis, he can sit in the front lines with the BKB, Blink Mech, and LGD can't really kill him. Even if you maybe get the Blink call, they just swap him out with the Venge. They have the defensive support, they have the solution for LGD's initiation, and honestly, because of that, I think EHOME can threaten high ground here. Well, talk about threatening. He uses the Blink offensively, gets up on the tower, gonna pop the mech. LGD are trying to rat here, but I don't think they can. They need these wards for base defense. They gotta come home.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. I guess EHOME are gonna back off. They call the LGD calling their bluff, though. That's a little risky.
And with that kind of movement, it leads me to believe that EHOME are going to just let the Aegis go down and just kind of hold with what they got before they can kind of move forward and try to get any more pressure onto the base. And LGD, well, they need to start thinking about what the hell plan B is going to be at this point. And if you're looking at Siler to kind of put this game on, as far as bringing it back, he's still got his just foundation of items to work with. You know, Mask of Madness had to go for the BKB. It's still fresh and new of 10 seconds. And the good old reliable Yasha on hand, but he's still just got a little peeper. He doesn't have the cannon quite yet.
Yeah, even when he gets it, again, there's a lot of physical damage, right? You've got the Venge, Medallion, Max Wave of Terror, and you've got 3 right-click heroes, especially that Shadow Fiend, and Ember with the Battle Fury. So, no matter how farm Sniper gets, if he ever gets caught by Chrono, I see him most likely dying. Maybe it's a really bad Chrono and LGD can counter-initiate, but they don't have like an easy solution to it, as mentioned before, so... First of all, he's not that farm, and even if he were, I think having a farm carry, EHOME's going to be... It's a lot easier for them to just have a farm carry that stays relevant and active in the fights. Well, LGD are doing a good job of kind of hanging on, dodging fights. They're resorting to some semi-rat tactics. It's working out pretty well. There's only one EHOME tower remaining, but I still don't really know what the long game plan is for them, and... Frankly, yeah. I don't think there is one. It's mostly just counting on EHOME mistakes, trying to punish them when they get out of position, but they're not really... LGD's not the team that can go around forcing fights, setting up kills constantly. Whereas, you look at EHOME, anytime the Chrono or the Ember's in the neighborhood, you better be running if you're LGD.
Just feels like LGD are, let's take out the last tower, let's farm as much as we can, not look to go into any sort of smoke movement or get into a confrontation we don't want to be a part of. We're just going to itemize as best we can so that when it is time to go for a high ground defense, we will just try to make sure we have all of the ammunition we could ask for and just hope for the best.
It's very reactionary play from LGD there. And I think it's the right decision because they can't take these head-on fights, but their lineup's built to control the tempo. They wanted to get the Bristleback Vanguard, get the Axe Blink Vanguard, and the Shaman level 6, and just walk at towers, drop the wards, start taking objectives. But they just got punished those first 2 big fights where they gave up 7 kills, and I think it was like a 7-for-1 or 7-for-2 across those 2 fights, and that was where the momentum just evaporated.
top lane where those supports just were like, take me with you. Just fell forward into it without using any spells.
I present an offering to the noble EHOME clan.
I sacrifice myself to the tour to fail. It just goes right down. It's just disaster. So EHOME, from their perspective, it's like, hey, we're good. We're sitting pretty right now. We can watch the clock, keep an eye out. Maybe the Roche will pop back up. We'll secure ourselves another Aegis, and then maybe then we'll start moving towards the LGD side and peeking into that high ground territory.
They have inventory slots here. They can farm for a while. Yeah. BKB inbound for RTK. Obviously, lots of room for him to grow, be it through an Aghanim Scepter or even more of a right-click build. The Maelstrom, Butterfly, things like this are a possibility. Ooh. Of course, Shadow Fiend still got 3-4 slots. Can replace this mech later on. And Ember, getting the Yasha, now building towards a Manta. This will be his solution to the Scarith Mage Silence. Do manage to find ZYF. Mystic Flare is ready. Do they get off the silence? Yes, they do. Very nice pick off. Much needed.
I was not expecting LGD to go on these Hitman expeditions, but they have enough lockdown and catch the one by himself. But yeah.
You know, they know there's a ward in their woods. You can see all these sentries. They desperately tried to be ward, but just missed.
Oh, nice jumping on the Inflame, but he quickly turns back. Lands on the high ground. Ice Blast will fly out. Requiem goes as well. It's just maybe taking the bit of the damage, but gets it up. But there's a swap. It brings Inflame towards the line of fire. ROTK now here, but yeah, no Chrono to fly out just yet.
This is how LGD comes back. If they just catch heroes out of position, force them to use their spells and kind of one at a time rather than in combination, then they can turn this. But it's going to take fights like that. And now LGD going to really try to press momentum, walking towards the Roche pit. Roche could have respawned if it was the fastest possible, but unfortunately, it's the next fastest possible. It's a 9-minute respawn, not 8.
Yesterday, I saw 2 of the fastest respawns back-to-back. It was ridiculous. Me and Basketball Camp in that game, we didn't even get to see the second timer. It just spawned after the first one concluded. It was ridiculous, but not that kind of luck right now for EHOME. Sometimes. Sometimes Roche kills you.
Did you see him playing here? He doesn't have a BKB. Oh no, where's the defensive swap? There's nobody in the neighborhood except for ROTK. But Inflame's trapped outside of the Chronosphere, taking the ward damage. Assassinate gonna come in. Brains and blow. Can they finish him off? They get the kill. But backup has arrived. Dakota, 3 dead. Sylar could be number 4. Where's the reinforcements? RTK's low. Can't walk in close on this Papa Sylar, who makes it a 3 for 2. It's probably a 3 for 3, if not more. Lanham on the run. EHOME just getting picked off one by one here, getting jumped and caught out of position, and they'll end up trading 3 for 3. Man. LGD, just the vision advantage is making the difference. That time they had this ward on the high ground. They saw the Shadow Fiend down in the river, and he just gets caught. They jump him, didn't have the BKB. If these fights go the right way for EHOME and they get a good Requiem with a decent Chrono, like that one was excellent. I think caught 3 heroes and kind of blocked the sniper back, then they win the fights. But when they keep on getting picked off one at a time, it's LGD are a little bit better in these small scale skirmishes. So EHOME just gotta find a way to reestablish the map control. I think this gem for DDC could be really big. It's just a matter of getting out on the map and actually doing that dewarding.
It felt like one of the best fights LGD could have asked for at this point in the game, but the unfortunate thing is they don't get a lot out of it, technically. 1,200 gold swing. When I check over the fight recap, that doesn't seem like it would have been as bountiful as it could have been with how EHOME felt so comfortable. But I guess because they were just farming and not really getting a ton of kills, you know, there wasn't a big rubber band to work with. So LGD, it is a nice boost, don't get me wrong, but they're going to still need a couple of those to get back into this game. And EHOME, though,
they don't have Chrono, though. It's 12 seconds before the Chrono's available. They're still going. I think you want to take the long route here and kind of wait until it's online. And that will be the choice. They're swinging around towards the south.
And they could run into Sylar. High ground, it starts popping. Oh, he just walks into trouble. Quick blink back, though. Ward's going to be dropped, and they're trying to get out the back door, but Zhaoi's going to be forced to commit the wards after he gets blown up. Now, they drop down the Mystic Flare right into the heat of the battle. Requiem will fly out, and they take out Skywrath Mage. ROTK, the cooldown's over, and Chrono is not going to catch the sniper, but they still get a hold of him. Yep, ZYF right in his face, but the call there from Maybe pulls him back. Turn around, assassinate, peep! But it's going to be dodged. Now ZYF will fall right thereafter. It's a 4 for 2 trade. Another good fight for LGD. I'm asking for them to get more.
I think he chronoed like the bristle and the axe there, and the sniper's just sitting here up behind the Chrono, just blasting everyone away. Finally, ZYF took the long way around to backstab him, but It was too late. They need to chrono the sniper. If they chrono the sniper, there is nothing to save him aside from like somehow Axe blinking and calling over the chrono and catching heroes who haven't walked towards it yet. But man, good positioning from Sylar. ROTK just unable to find him, and I mean that looked like tailor-made for them to just wreck LGD in the fight. They found the initiation, but just couldn't find the Sniperino. He's apparently elusive.
He doesn't even have a Blink Dagger. And in a game like this, when you're going against a Faceless Void, I would suspect that maybe the Sniper would consider a Blink Dagger just to ensure that he gets that golden positioning. But he's been in a good spot. I don't know if that's that ROTK doesn't get good chronos or that Sylar is just that good at finding a spot even without a Blink Dagger. But regardless,
you could tell he wanted to hold it. Like he was. Oh, they are gonna throw the Ice Blast out. They actually try to go in without chrono. Maybe Lanham goes in for a big swap steal of the Aegis. Is he gonna try for it?
ROTK tries to go in but does not get it. The Sniper grabs it. Mystic Flare gonna be dropped right on his faceless face. And he goes down. Sylar, well, he'll get dropped, but he does have that Aegis to come back. In Flame on the high ground, reaping in the raises. It's gonna be a 2-for-1 now. Sylar steps out. Both gonna be chained down. Sylar goes down. Big raise to fly through. In Flame with a double kill now. Pops his mech, and Yao, well, it's going to be a raid boss of a death. He's going to slowly try to bring down DDC, but he knows that it's just him that will eventually fall.
All right, let's go back the other way. LGD have momentum. Time for EHOME to claim it right back. Oh, my. I think my favorite part of that fight was the Shadow Fiend. Just blinks onto the high ground, just chilling there, throwing out auto attacks, even unwind the Requiem. That was some amazing positioning from In Flame, and LGD just couldn't really do anything about it. Now, that was a fight without the Chronosphere. Like, that is how strong EHOME's team fight can be.
Yeah.
If they hit that Chrono with an Ice Blast, with an Ember Slay on the top, with a Requiem, like, if they execute their team fight well, there's no way LGD wins the fight. But what's been happening is they've been unable to find the Sniper in team fights, sometimes even losing the Void off the back, or off the start of the fight. We've seen the Shadow Fiend getting caught out in the river and dying on his own when the BKB was down. That's how EHOME lose this game. If they don't execute, if they get caught out of position, LGD, it comes down to having good aggressive wards and just fighting around those big EHOME cooldowns. But when EHOME have the combo Dakota, there is no stopping this lineup.
Pretty ridiculous, not gonna lie. And that all started with a huge, what, 4-man Ice Blast? I believe an Agnum's Ice Blast on top of that? That's pretty crazy. So you're already gonna have an LGD squad that will be slowly withered away, and plus you have raises flying on through that's catching everyone from the high ground. It's just a beautiful setup right there from EHOME, considering they even have the chrono to work with.
Topsy-turvy game, man.
Yeah,
Look
man.
at this graph. We're just going up and down, and it's always been close. It's never been more than a 5k gold lead, a 10k experience. That is fairly minimal for a 36-minute game.
In all these team fights, the swings are never more than like 1,300 gold. It's not like one team is just all of a sudden way back in it with a 5k gold swing. It's just like...
why?
Oh, swap from behind, and now he's going to get spotted out, and just the Birdman just gets absolutely decimated. Yeah, that's...
Come back down to Earth, Icarus. You've flown too close to the sun.
Sweet stack you got here. It's ours now.
Oh, that was quick.
EHOME just kind of take what's theirs now, and they will move through and go for the tier 2 top lane. It looks like only 2 more outer towers here for LGD, and then they are going to be like sheep, shepherd, back into their base with nowhere to go out safely. It's EHOME that are the coyotes, just kind of mouth of foam ready to eat up their mineral.
And we've been talking a decent amount about the carries farm. I don't know if you've mentioned it, but Ancient Emperor now has a Aghanim Scepter. This is a big item. You're up against Bristleback, Axe heroes that are naturally pretty tanky, but as the BKBs get lower, which they're starting to, down to a 7-second BKB on the Axe, the Bristleback also 7 seconds, this Ancient Apparition Ice Blast is going to do more and more.
Yeah. They do drop words. They want to get this last tier 2. They want to get it. Can they get it? It gets denied. In Flame will take that one away, but that's all of EHOME's outer towers. It's actually LGD who clear out all the towers on the map first before EHOME.
They've gotten, I think it was 2 denied.
Yep.
I don't know what else.
Definitely 2.
I think Xiaowade's doing the, it's like basically like he's doing the best he can, right? Because he can't really walk around the map setting up kills. Who are you killing? There's BKBs on the 2 big carries. The Ember has a Manta, and they have wards everywhere with the gems, so you can't really get the jump on them. The Rat and kind of like just taking towers, even if they're denied, it's better than him just sitting back and getting nothing done, but this is a lot of gold they're missing out on. Whereas you look across the map, LGD still have 2 towers. If EHOME take those, maybe get a kill or 2 beforehand, suddenly they're up 6, 7, maybe even 8k gold on the back of that. These tower denies are starting to add up a little bit.
Sylar's starting to hit pretty hard here, man. He's got a Daedalus. He's got his Manta. He still has 7 seconds on it, but they move him forward. Nice jump call into Inflame, but here comes ROTK. That's the chrono we want to see. ROTK on the 4, and now they're going to fly on forward and try to dish out. Not huge follow-up damage, however, but they still will be able to get a hold on to Yao. Sylar, desperate to just do a pump back and try to catch some shots from the low ground, as now they will turn it the other way. ROTK gets dunked. And now LGD pull back with their winnings, but Inflame will not allow that. Moves forward. Requiem will blast on out. Yao still fine, though they do. Zhao Wei will go down. Yao swap back forward. Right clicks, cold feet, helps finish that. Now Maybe jumps in, gets the call, and dunk. Double kill for Maybe as he's able to slash down, land him right there, and it ends up being a 2 for 2. 20 to 27.
Such a good chrono, except Shadow Fiend was called, so he couldn't get off a Requiem, and Ice Blast had already been used. If they get off the Requiem Ice Blast there, that is instantly 4 heroes dead. Oh.
We got to get this together, guys. We can't have a great team fight and no chrono, or a big chrono, no team fight. And it's just unfortunate timing, but hey, props to LGD. That was a big Maybe fight right there. Jumping up over
that could have been really ugly for EHOME if they didn't get that 4-hero Chronosphere, but... Well, in the end, it ends up being a pretty even trade. We've had a lot of these fights where it looks like one team like hugely outplays the other, but it ends up being like a 2 for 2 or a 3 for 2 or 4 for 3.
Yeah.
This time around, again, technically, when you do the math as far as who dies, the Shadow Fiend lives, the Ember Spirit, I believe, ends up surviving through that, and well, the Sniper ends up living for LGD. So it ends up being pretty even when the dust settles, but. Sylar he's living on the edge here, man. He gets caught in the 4-hero Chronosphere. If they had even just the Ice Blast, I think, is enough to kill him off in that fight. But I guess he's a cat here. Seems like he's got some extra lives to work with and continues to just dodge all the bullets.
8 and 5 and 7 for Sylar right now, and he's been finding a way to work with good positioning, and we still continue to dish out the damage, while EHOME, it's very apparent they have the stronger team fight. They just need to get it all together so they can really unleash the fury of their true team fight impact. But for now, they're just going to have to go back to the drawing board. They'll step back with their items. How are we looking on Roche time? We still got about another minute before we'll even see the secondary clock pop up. And now some dewardage here as Lanham wants to just kind of clear out the Roche area just in case here for EHOME. And I feel like EHOME should feel a little bit more comfortable as far as being able to claim this part of the map. Now that more of these Tier 2 structures have gone down, there's no access points for someone like LGD to kind of easily rotate towards the Roche Pit. All they have to do is kind of keep pressure across the river onto the LGD side, and then they could just pull back.
There's no more Tier 2s to lose if you're EHOME, so... LGD have kind of done their damage as far as tower trading and ratting, and they're not likely to go high ground without getting some kills. So I think EHOME, because of that, can play a little more confidently, just push the lanes out. The big item for me that they're working towards is this Void Eggs. Once he gets the eggs, then they could just unleash the Chrono for solo kills. Whenever they see a hero on its own, just drop the Chrono. You're gonna have the 60-second cooldown. Oh, RTK maybe gets caught here though. This is gonna be close. BKB, time walk out, and there is no blink. So
no blink. No follow up to be able to get a hold of him. I guess a BKB charge down that puts him at the 6-second mark. But yeah, just very touch and go so far. So for both of these teams, it's hard to really say which team is going to be going into that area first, but who would you say has the better chance at being able to breach the high ground and make it into the base? Is it EHOME with ROTK and his Chronosphere, or is it LGD having Axe kind of jump in there and set the platform that way?
Well, the one thing with the Chrono is it's a much longer cooldown than Berserker's Call. So
yeah.
Obviously it's like one of the best spells in the game to just initiate and get a kill to start the fight, but it's a question of, is it going to be up? And also, even if you get the Chrono on 1-2 heroes get the kills, they may be able to buy back and hold. So I think buybacks will be really big for LGD if they're in a defensive position, but as for LGD's initiation, they do have the Blink Hex on Shadow Shaman, and if they catch someone out with the Venge not ready to swap, then that will be an easy kill.
Oh,
I think because of the Venge, you're always going to favor EHOME if it comes down to a 5v5 fight. Should be able to get a defensive swap and bail a buddy out.
This is interesting timing right here. EHOME have been plotting to try to do a smoke and have a movement, but LGD wanted to make something happen here on the bottom. I wonder if they're going to end up crossing paths here. You see the smoke on Lanham right now, but not looking to pop it quite yet. They feel like maybe LGD are going to be coming to them. And they're confident in their fight. It's just a matter of who's going to execute, who's going to lead off this one. This is going to be intense.
Really need to get to this hill so they can D-ward. They know how important it is. They're throwing a remnant up there, and uh-oh, Inflame gonna get caught, but they do have a defensive swap if needed.
Oh, cancels the call.
That whole movement was all about getting in position to D-ward this hill. They don't want to just like walk up. You don't just send your Venge in there. That's how you feed and lose the team fight and potentially even the Roche. But well, Dakota, they get the D-ward. That's the big win here.
Smoke back play from EHOME though. They throw on the mittens and they're ready for a brawl. ROTK BKB jumps way back in behind and catches Sylar and MMY, but acts as the bodyguard and the gatekeeper. You gotta make it through them first to get to the back lines, but Inflame just houses everyone. Killing spree now. Lanham trying to run away from Yao, but they can't do anything about it. On the other side, well, ROTK, the sacrificial lamb does go down, but they wipe out LGD. And even Sylar was forced to buy back.
That's how important killing the sniper is. The X got a 3-hero call on everyone else, but not on the Void. And the Void jumps the sniper, they lose the sniper, they lose the fight. That's pretty much how the cookie crumbles. Man, what a good effort by LGD though. That blink call almost changed everything. If he gets the Void there, which he was pretty close to doing, it was like a half second of reaction time and he would have had it. Then they wipe EHOME there. If they call, they just kill off the Void. He doesn't get the chrono off. Sniper lives. Then you have no easy way to gap close. Everything hinging on that chrono initiation. But it was damn close, Dakota. Unfortunately for LGD, EHOME come up big. It might have been a close fight, but the end result is very decisive. There's like a 5,000 gold swing. They also force out the sniper buyback, and you've got your chronosphere coming off cooldown. So anytime they catch the sniper, chrono, and kill him off, Sylar's on the sidelines for about 2 minutes. And that's probably a lane of Rex. He's got to play very cautious now.
Yeah. That was even good. I mean, he was so far behind. RTK is just like, get out of my way, Axe. I'm going back there. And he just jumped back there and got him. Sylar was way back there too, but
he's like 50 people back in the line at the supermarket and just starts like throwing his shopping cart forward, just ramming them out of the way.
It was ridiculous.
I need to get to this cashier, this sniper, as quickly as possible.
That's where I'm like, what about a blink dagger? You saw him running at you. What if you quickly blink back and then this chrono would have been a dud? And I don't know. It's if, ands, and buts at this point. There you go. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. Maybe should have come a little bit sooner, but hey, at this point, you'll take whatever proper positioning in any of these fights you can. That could have been a big difference if Sylar was there to contribute with his damage, but it's just very apparent that when he is caught, it's just easy pickings.
Yeah, with the blink, it's not that hard to blink dodge chrono because he does have, the Void does have that slight cast animate. Like, first of all, you see him time walking in, and then he's got the little thing where he's like waving his arms. So you have like about a half second or so to blink out. This is where, honestly, for RTK, I would not mind the blink on the Void either, just because you have the instant jump forward instead of the time walk with the travel time to it. We've seen Eternal Envy do it. It was on a carry Void, and the reason he did it was so that he could use the blink dagger to initiate, and then still have time walk to run away.
Yeah.
But just to secure a good chrono on the sniper, I honestly would not mind the blink on RTK as his next fight.
That's when you get a refresher, so you have a second time walk just to say, see you later, and you leave. But the new mana cost and everything of a double chrono, it's pretty crazy, and we don't see those kind of builds anymore. But
you know, refresher at this point, he's gonna have eggs, so he could go for it as his next item.
That's
the only downside to that is then you're really lacking damage, and I think as the game moves along, you want RTK to be able to kill the sniper by himself, which refresher doesn't really help him do. He either catches him once and kills him, or he whiffs the first chrono and then he's just not gonna do anything from there. So I think get like a damage item, your MKB, Butterfly, Daedalus, and then go back for the refresher. But that is asking a lot for the offlane Void. His farm has not been the best. You wouldn't really expect it. It's not his job this game, but I guess RTK is going to have to make some tough choices. For now, I'll just be happy to put together the Agnum Scepter.
EHOME's going to clear out the Ancient stack, and they also had blocked it out there with the wards, so they're taking the last bit of LGD Ancient farm for themselves and kind of nerfing it so they can't have potential to continue to farm up safely on their own side. Xiao wait up here, kind of being a watchful eye.
This is some AUI 2000 Shadow Shaman, just constantly hiding in the trees, off the map. This is really reminding me of the old Cloud9.
Demon's another one I used to see do that a lot. Might be more pub play, but he'll just come into a throne push ward session.
Have you seen that Keeper of Light clip?
No.
Where he's like up in the trees here. He throws out an illuminate. Then he blinks backwards. Then he waits for it to cool down. He throws another illuminate out, and then and I think he has a force staff and pushes himself away, but he doesn't get into a safe position, and then they just run him down against some tides. Truly cheeky, classic Jimmy moments.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
It's always a pleasure to watch. Sometimes it can pass you.
Zhao Wei not looking to be the next classic director here, but as they move
not
to
really the hero you want to blink it into. Now, dude, he's not even getting scratched right now.
Shrugs it off right now. He's got that AC he's flexing with here, and well, he's happy to kind of soak in the damage right now, but this is where positioning is so crucial.
This is where Sniper is at his best. When you're trying to siege high ground, especially with the Blink Dagger, Sylar will probably never leave this area. This is kind of his safety zone. He's not going to be standing next to the tower. He can even be a little bit farther back than that in some cases. But, good luck catching him when he's in his base. That's going to be a lot more difficult.
That's what I felt like when I said before that they're just going to... I didn't think they were going to even push for any sort of engagements. They're just going to farm, and have the best fight they can when they were going to eventually have to put up a high ground defense. But for a while there, it was LGD winning fights. They took 2 straight fights, and they're like, oh, we have a bit of a comeback. EHOME kind of put them in their place again there with that fight on bottom, and now they're back to, okay, well, we'll go back to the strong defensive high ground kind of a thing. But I say that, and you never know.
They haven't broken base yet. They really need to kill the Sniper, who is being shown bottom. This is a very tempting play for EHOME. You know if you kill the Sniper that... Well, he won't have the buyback, although it's actually coming off cooldown in a minute. So Sylar's mostly weathered the storm now, and they also lose their Aegis. It's tough to break the base against Sniper, and they can't find him.
I would love to know a stat as far as across the regions, when Aegises just expire and they're never even used. And I feel like for Chinese Dota, it's more often than not.
Especially with the new Aegis. Well, it's not new anymore.
It's just 1 less minute, right?
Yeah, you go back to your... Well, yeah, I'm saying if you go back a while ago, back when the Aegis would last until Roche respawns, which... I mean, it's been a long, long time ago. Even, back then, you'd see the Chinese teams get some use out of the Aegis, but I do agree with you. I feel like in Chinese Dota that the changes to Aegis were over the past, year and a half or so, where it's just slowly lost duration, and you have to get something done quickly or not at all.
There's just, no urgency for them to, make use of it. Which could be a good or a bad thing.
Right.
CIS teams are like, we got to use this now, let's go! And they get themselves killed.
They feed twice.
Yeah.
We're stereotyping, of course. It's not always true, but yeah, it does seem a little more common in the Chinese games, especially you've had a lot of long games the past couple days to cover.
Yeah,
we're already clipping that 50-minute mark.
Yeah, I mean, this is just from my perspective. I came here when I first came to the house. I started with North America matches, then I went to European. Now I'm in China, and just from the matches I saw across the board, these games obviously a little bit more meticulous, they're more methodical, they have more of a chess match, but you'll see stuff like, Aegises rather, not being used, just playing it as slow and safe as possible.
I think it's a combination of things. It's not just that, the teams are passive, it's also that their opponents are doing a really good job of forcing their hand. Like LGD right now, you see 3 heroes top. They're not just sitting mid and watching their buildings fall. They are going to split push with the Shaman, maybe drop wards on the high ground. This forces the Void to TP back. I think they should be letting the Ember do that if they want to apply pressure, but they're a bit nervous about the potential for LGD to just jump and get this kill on RTK, or on an Ember, so they're just going to send RTK there instead.
Definitely have to hand it to LGD. They've been doing enough where EHOME are still not at a place where they're comfortable enough to even go into the high ground. It's just they got to get to their critical mass.
The next Roche. The next Roche will be the Roche, I swear.
We got to make sure we get at least 6 Roches done before we start breaking on in there.
They want this jump on Sylar. Can they get in close? He does have his buyback now, but it's still a very big kill. He blinks back. They have the swap. Oh, Sylar, he's in trouble. Where are you going, Sniper?
He does have buyback, but whoa!
That crit.
That was just
top side of the map. RTK as well as ZYF almost finding a kill, and now back to bottom where maybe goes in for the blink call, gets it on 2. Inflame has BKB Requiem here. Is he gonna let it fly? Not just yet. Hanging on to it for quite a while. Now the Bristle Boss shows up, and there's your BKB laying in nice and fast. They'll get 3 kills. Sniper not wanting to use his buyback. They will, however, lose their Shadow Fiend. His DDC is on the run. They took that fight without Void or Ember, though, and they are The big boys are showing up now, Dakota.
Yeah, they're en route. A buyback even coming out from Inflame here. Look at ROTK.
How deep will RTK
He's
go?
like, I'm a man on a mission. I will go.
That's too deep.
Oh.
That's not bad.
I gotcha. Never mind.
He didn't even have Mask of Madness ready. There's no way they go for that. Well, I mean, it's RTK, so I was like, you know, he just might.
He is going for Refresher. Oblivion Staff in the stash, so now you got double time walk. No need for a blink.
Yeah,
that's of course what it's all about, right? Not double BKB, not double chrono. It's just having that double time walk.
So Shadow Fiend bought back, and now Sniper is going to retaliate with a buyback. This could be big. One of these carries goes down, and that might just cost the team a Roche, maybe even a lane of Brax. Sniper laying into Inflame, has the BKB if he needs it. Doesn't have any easy heals available, though. I don't really think EHOME can force this. They're trying, but you can see that hesitation of like, oh, we just bought back our Shadow Fiend. If he dies again, we're going high ground into a Sniper. Sure, it's 3v5, but they're respawning soon. Let's not risk it, and they will back off in the end.
It's buybacks from both sides in both cores, so works out okay. LGD do lose a little bit more out of that.
That was almost a lot worse for LGD. Right when the fight broke out bottom, they almost caught 2-3 heroes retreating top with RTK, but he was just like a half-second late. They managed to make their way bottom. If LGD get caught top and they lose the Sniper bottom, then that probably is a lane of Rax, or it's like a triple buyback for LGD to hold the line. As they smoke Dakota, they're looking for a Roche here. It's sad to say the big boy ain't home.
Oh, they see the illusion get hit and they ping it out.
It's so close. Poor LGD. Poor LGD.
Man.
This is brutal now. Like, do they actually even have another smoke? No smoke for 4 minutes. They got the Imba ward up though. That's something. But there's still a gem on the Ancient Apparition. And any AA worth of salt is going to throw an Ice Vortex up on this hill and just make sure that's clear before they walk in.
I don't know. Do you think they would have been comfortable doing the Roche if it was up right there at that moment?
No, I think they're hoping to catch EHOME there, but
doing it, yeah.
It's just more like now they've invested their last smoke for 4 minutes. So now how do you sneak up on them?
They know what's happening. They got the ward up here on this side. They can see ROTK kind of dancing in and out. For the EHOME vision, you know, they have good vision as well. They can kind of see past and behind, and they have their own ward hidden.
Now both teams just need to wait for their main carries buybacks to cool down. So let's give it 4.5 minutes, and then we'll reset.
This is like safe Dota. Now they leap into the pit though. Try to get it in the dark, but everyone else just kind of walks around.
How did LGD get in here without just getting counter-initiated? They don't have...
It's too late.
Even if they could, like, they only have Blink Call. They don't have the Chrono. They don't have super long-range initiation. I'm watching Sylar, though. Look how far back he is.
Oh, he uses the Chrono onto maybe. And LGD are like, sorry, buddy, we're out of here. And they just leave.
It's the Eggs Chrono. So, like, at this point in the game, I think that's a good play as long as Sniper can't kill you during it.
Yeah, they'll have it by the time they kind of get ready to make their push happen.
He's going deep.
This is
I love watching RTK play. There's, like, no one even in the neighborhood. He's just in case I'm going to time walk in. He's thinking about that next kill. If he finds someone there, he gets that Chrono. Or, not that Chrono, just that Bash, and then ZYF's able to catch them with chains, then they probably win the game there. ROTK is a go big or go home kind of player. Right now, it looks like it's LGD who may be going home.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
EHOME's first game yesterday with ROTK back in action, they did an Elder Titan in the offlane for him, and that was just silly. It was welcome back, ROTK.
Void, I feel like. Yeah. Someone who can play aggro, make mistakes, and still have a big impact.
Just want to be like, though, you know, this is not TI4 anymore. These offlane Voids, these offlane Elder Titans, we found new heroes now that he can roll with, but he's just kind of like, I'm going to make it work this way. And it always seems like a shaky start, but he somehow finds his way back into the action and really makes it count. But we'll see here. LGD, they got to defend and hold their own. This is going to be what could be the first real high ground push of the game here from EHOME.
Oh, they want Sylar so bad. Yao going to be forced to BKB. And now RTK up, finds MMY, does not find the Sniper, but doesn't matter. It seems like they're killing everyone else off. Shall we? Dropping low, survives for now. The Ben's gonna finish him off. But CYF forced back. It seems it wasn't quite good enough to crack the base just yet.
They do some damage on the tier 3, but good positioning again from Sylar. Now he steps back. Yao's in trouble. Yao goes down. That's 90 seconds. No bristle buyback. He's done. Your ward's up. One of your last defensive hurrahs right here. Axe is back, maybe kind of puts himself on the side, but they just might need to stall as long as they can.
If you want, I think you just wait 30 seconds for the next Chrono, and then you just go.
Yeah.
And if the Sniper tries to defend, you just kill him and win the game. Maybe he blink dodges the Chrono, but he's got to be worried about it to the point where he can't easily defend the tower properly. They don't even need to catch him anymore, it seems. Like, the rest of the team's strong enough to take the pounding. They've got the gold and experience lead they need. Dakota now 20,000 gold, 14,000 experience. EHOME going for the GG now.
Oh, big swap on the Sylar. BKB. Ice Blast will fly through. Maybe tries to slow them down with a big call. Jumping on two. ROTK gets taken care of. But they lose maybe right there. Immediate buyback for him. Sylar under the Chronosphere goes down. Oh, he is out. Yeah, MMY. Barely alive, Ghost Scepter, desperate with the Mystic Flare drop, but he gets dropped shortly thereafter. And finally, it looks like EHOME will be able to break into the base and do their first serious damage. And this is still 100 seconds without Sylar, and I think the towel's going to be thrown in any moment here for game number 1.
Nice Blake Sniper. That's okay. We've got a Blink level 3 swap Vengeful Spirit. Closing distance, approximately a screen and a half.
I think she could swap someone from a different game at that point.
Yeah. Brandon and Chuan all of a sudden. Like, oh, hey, why is an IG player in here? Huh.
We need your help.
It's a little odd. Jesus. It's just gotten to that point where it's too easy for them to find these jumps. Another pickoff coming. Xiao 8 will go down. And maybe tries to counter-initiate. It's a little how it seems. Inflame able to tank through this. The Ice Blast coming in nice and hot as LGD get caught out. Diving the well as ZYF, man, those crits do add up. Now he's going to have to remnant himself back away. Maybe the Pistol even kills him. No, the bodyguards are waiting. They'll slow him down. They'll kite him. They'll slide him. They'll finish him off. Ends the game with the team wipe. It was like a 5k gold difference for 40 minutes. This game ends with a 35k gold. Yeesh.
Oh boy.
Slugfest of a game one.
It was. It felt like there could have been a point when EHOME would just taken control and just never let up whatsoever, but LGD kind of stuck around. They found their little picks here and there, and they found a way to breathe new life into this game, but eventually EHOME just kind of got what they wanted. They have too much as far as gap closing goes, and, well, they're going to be walking away with a win in game number 1 of this best of 3.
Wasn't easy, but they pulled it off. I think you have to go back to this game if you're LGD, and it wasn't about that last 45 minutes. It was about the fight top where they end up losing 3. It could have just been 1 if the two supports, the Skywrath Mage and the Shadow Shaman, just chilled, let their sniper die, but instead they commit, they lose 3 there. Then there was the next fight, it was near the Roche Pit where they lost 4 heroes. Yeah. Those were the 2 fights where LGD lost all momentum, and if they were going to win this game from that point, EHOME were basically going to have to throw. Completely away from Chrono. I wouldn't say they threw, but there were a few fights where they didn't get that good chain of initiation. LGD almost came back, but it was always EHOME's game to lose after those 2 fights.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that. So with that wraps up game number 1, but, well, LGD will still have a chance to strike back and tie things up and try to take it to a game number 3, but it's EHOME who are on match point, so we're going to have that game coming up in just a hot second here. It's Beyond the Summit bringing you the English coverage here for Dota Starladder _EN on Twitch. And, well, you can show us some support. I'm KotLGuy. He's LD. We're going to wrap things up. We'll be back in a hot second with more Dota action.
G2A.com!
Stop yelling!
The best video game store ever! Fast as lightning! Solid as a rock! Cheap as duck! What's more, you can sell on it because it's also a marketplace! Remember G2A.com! The best video game store ever!